All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. We are post NFP. There we go. All right. So yesterday, NQ continuing to defend that 400, that key pivot, key higher time frame pivot. We've been talking about that all week, right? Mentioned it in the weekly candle, the Sunday newsletter about the importance of this pivot right down here in blue. You can see it's a massive, massive area of support, multi-week area of support. Price has held for the second day in a row. That was yesterday. You can see the weekly volume point of control right here near about 686. And now we are trading higher with a gap higher into 25,250, almost into the most recent lower high pivot right through here. So the focus for this morning is going to be how price responds to 25,250. That'll kind of determine how I'm going to approach the morning. NVIDIA earnings is behind us. NFP is behind us. Got about 3 minutes till the open. $250 level of interest loosely aligns with that overnight high. So the reaction here is going to be the focus off of the open. If we see a rejection here, we can expect that price will trade back into session volume point of control and the weekly open right there at 142. And then maybe even 25K. If we see a big sell right off the open. Let's see. Prior day close was 723. Yeah, we're going to be looking at, let's see, probably what's current price? 230. Looking at a gap up into right up into here. Pretty sizable gap. NQ's up 2% as of right now. So you can see the resistance here at 250 on a regular trading hours chart from last week. Monday even. It's Monday's high. Extended hours Monday's high is just shy of that 400 level of interest. Circled area right here. One minute till the open. Gibbs has sized down. Yes, sir. 100%. Still in a high volatility environment. There's your opening print about 210. See how this gap looks. Look at the gap. Huge. There's your initial test and reject of 250. Already 100 points lower. Weekly opens at 142. It's also VWAP and session volume point of control. ES went ahead and swept that overnight high. A little bit of divergence there compared to NQ. RTY on its own this morning, pressing the highs. Even these 15-second candles I'm looking at right now are 40 to 50 points. I like to see how price responds with a true test to that 142 area. Looks like that opening 5-minute bar is going to potentially close on the low. Still has 1 minute on it. Nope, opening 5-minute. That's a doji. 10 seconds on that thing. Yeah, may as well be a doji. And Q showed a little sweep of the low, now almost back into highs. I wanted a little bit more depth there, the 142. But that looked decent. You can see the little sweep of the low right into VWAP. You have 142 beneath. Wanted something that was like that. Timmy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Timmy, you start the swing trading yet? Nice work, Timmy. Heck yeah. ES has marked a new high of day. Up 644 by 4 accounts. Nice work, man. No trades during RTH for me yet. I'd like to see some action above 250 with some acceptance up there. Up above 250, up above the overnight high. That may be asking too much, though, on a 2% day on NQ. Still in that opening 5-minute bar. Patience, patience. It's been a while since we've seen a little bit of chop off the open. Just kind of looking back here. Yeah, since like November November 11th, man. And Q, there's your new low of day. Just just shy of that 142. I like the idea there, but not enough to take 50 points of risk. So no position. I like it, but not that much. Gabe, back in the day, we chopped over 20-point ranges, not 100. Yeah. Yeah, that's an important reminder because when the volatility eventually dies down, it will. A lot of people are going to be in for a rude awakening. Start getting used to those big ranges. Fail to adapt quickly to slower markets and end up getting burned. There's that 142 bounce. Worked nicely. Like I said, no position there. Did not want to eat that much risk against the weekly open and VWAP if it failed, so we pass. But you had the little intraday spring right there. Reference point, weekly open, VWAP. Not bad. Problem is I would have been entering about 190, which means stop goes down here. I mean, you gotta really love the idea. Yeah, to take on 50 points. I'm good. I'm good on that. Opening 15-minute bar closes as a doji. Mike June was a nightmare, very low volume. Yeah, that summer trading can be slow. No doubt about it. We got some Fed speak going on right now as well. Volume's been pretty light all morning. Got Apple rallying. Let's see, Nvidia. Nvidia is being sold. Tesla rallying. Google's being sold. Let's see, Meta. Meta's been beat up. Oh, Meta gapped higher. ES into the highs. It's a lot of barcode though. And Q getting back into 250. Let's see if a new high can be made. Here you go, new high of day. Here's overnight high, 264. This is where it gets interesting. Is it an up thrust? Or do we see some acceptance up here? So far, that's an up thrust. Ten minutes till 10 a.m. Timmy riding the RTY long. Gold is catching a bid. It was a pretty slow open. At your 5 minute. Failure to leave the opening 5 minute range so far. Compare that to like these past few days. I mean, look at the volatility we've had recently. Yeah, last time we saw this was really November 11th. Still cash this morning. Staying patient. Volume is below average too. Keep in mind. 4 minutes till 10 a.m. There's a new high on NASDAQ. So far, the only entry I've seen for the long, we talked about it down through here. No position personally. And that was the intraday spring setup at the weekly open with VWAP, of course. Des. But Swan is the bot long? Let's see. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, this gets a little more interesting now. Can NQ sustain above this zone? That's right through here. Overnight high by about 250. Right through there. And post 10 a.m., of course. ES is pressing the highs slowly. It's like a slow drip higher. I would prefer to see some more volume this morning. RTY session highs, Timmy, there's your target. If you're still out there. Trimmed your apple at 100%. Man, nice work. Making me miss the options, man. Making me miss it. I'm going to have to take a look. So into 10 a.m. here, a few seconds. Game plan remains the same. Pretty much just watching. It's overnight high area. There's 25,300. Timmy, if you go back to the early TMGs, there's still a lot of options commentary in those. In fact, I think most of it is options commentary on those early episodes. So NQ very slight, new high of day. Oh, you already watched 1 through 40. All right, you're good then. Yeah, that would have that would have covered it all. By 40, we're definitely getting more into the futures. So NQ, I'd like to see if we get a bit more of a push here. I gave it a try per plan, but this action is just it's a little sleepy. Gabe says push. I know he's long. I'm with you, Gabe. Yeah, the idea there is we outlined the overnight high, 25,250 area price breaks above, gives you a little microstructure to work with. Try the long right there. For a structure based stop, still a little wider than I would like, but that's just a byproduct of kind of the higher volatility right now. And we'll trail in profit if this thing fails. The long is tough right now. NQ's up 2%. So, I mean, it can definitely continue higher. Being up 2% alone is not a reason that it's going to pull back, but psychologically it just makes the longs a little tougher, at least for me. So we'll trail out of the scalp right there. Preference right now would be like a nice washout. A nice pullback. As long as 6775. Yeah, that looks like about the same kind of idea I just did in NQ, except ES has much better follow through right there. That's nice. Nice trade. Yeah, I'm with you there with the pullback idea. Definitely would have been superior. As far as like upside targets, if this thing's going to continue, we're looking at 25,400, which is the high for the week, extended hours. Now 25,400. There's an important point here. Oh, you can't even see it. There we go. There's an important point here because that's going to trigger a change of character for the near term bearish trend. Let's look at the 4 hour. You can see it pretty clearly. There we go. There's a little more selling. A little bit more. There we go. Let's see. See what sort of depth we can get here. NQ failure to hold overnight highs. So we're getting back into session volume point of control, 25,200 area. Gotta love how 10 a.m. marks the exact high on that push. Well, 10 a.m. RT. So NQ, like I said, failure to hold above that key area there post 10 a.m. We may actually see the bigger washout now. Andres took a nibble at that overnight high failure. Solid. With 10 a.m. reversal time, that's a solid opportunity. ES getting into the lows. And NQ, a little bit of a bounce there from session volume point of control on VWAP area. Looking for price to kind of leave this opening 30-minute range. Watch this area, kind of watch this area up here. Not interested in the middle. Volume's still below average too. A lot of reasons to be doing less right now. Is what I'm seeing. It's what price is telling me. Volume looks fine on a 5-minute. I'm looking at relative volume right in front of me. So there's no subjective nature. I don't have to guess. Objectively speaking, it's below average based on the tool that I use anyway. Was the name of the RVol indicator? It's Ophiuchus Futures Relative Volume. It's invite only. If you're in the think tank, drop your TradingView username in the resources tab. You'll see the post there. All right, NQ getting into the lows. Starting to get more interesting here. So just kind of looking ahead, if the 142 area fails, if we don't see like a spring setup here and we actually see a failure, I'll be looking at 25K down into this area. It was pretty much the main target right there for the short. If you were in the short, structure based target into the lows. Is this our range for today? 150 by 300. Yeah, ES catching a bid versus weekly open there, 6765. And NQ bouncing as well. We have some Fed speak ongoing. And just about 1 hour into the sesh. How's everyone's morning so far? I would guess mostly cash based on the action we're seeing here. That'd be my guess. Cash, small green. Gabe Green calling it a day. Chad Green. Small green on my end. Just the scalp up there near the overnight high for RTH. Dave Green. Yeah, I would not say the action here is super compelling. Might be an early one. Let's see the next 10 minutes. Volume about 50-60% of average here. So far, there's just a range bound day. So if this holds, if this range holds, this could technically be a tradable range. Basically 150 by 300. Mm, that's good info, Andreas. I know exactly what you're talking about. I gotta look into that. That would explain why some people were saying the max loss filter was not working, because technically the code is set up so that if a flag doesn't print on the chart, then no trade should be executed. But based on what you're saying, if the alerts were already set and then they set the max stop loss filter, they would have to reset all the alerts. Yeah, that checks out. Nasdaq pretty much right back into the highs here. All right, I want to see the next 1 to 2 minutes. Basically, this next 30-minute candle. If we see a rejection up here, I would expect that the lows will trade again. We can look for an entry down here, but more than likely getting ready to shut it down. Below average volume, range bound market, NQ's up 2%. Let's see if we break the highs decisively in the next couple minutes. Albert, what's up, man? Yeah, stream sacrifice is coming. I'll take my scalp. Here come the highs again. Session highs for NASDAQ. And again, if we have a rejection in this area, my expectation is that, at least for the rest of the morning, it'll be more of a sideways range between 25,300 and 25,140. Yeah, there's your rejection there at overnight high. All right, that pretty much settles it. I'm going to call it a morning right there. I'll be looking for longs near the 25 150, 25 140 session low area, maybe a intraday spring setup, but otherwise I'm just going to take my scalp this morning and call it right there. Pretty uneventful day. May as well have just been a scratch day. Very, very lightly green. That's how it goes sometimes. That is how it goes. You gotta be okay with whatever the market gives you. Can't force it. I passed on arguably the best setup this morning based on my risk profile. And for me, that would be the spring setup right here at the weekly open. That was a level we were watching with VWAP right through there as well. And like I said, the reason I passed on it was because I did not love it enough to risk 50 points, which is what I would have had to have done based on my system. So that's part of the game. We'll be live tomorrow. MCS is tomorrow, and then we will be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, off Thursday, Friday. Hope you guys had a good morning. Hope no one got chopped up in this. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Today is the coaching call in the Traders Think Tank. So if you're in the Traders Think Tank, keep an eye out for that. That's after the close. It's available. The live session is available to all Traders Think Tank members. So it'll be live 15 minutes after the close today. I'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for your time today.